The movie begins with a man called Joel. Waking up from his sleep, he looks tired and terrified. Meanwhile, he steps outside to find his car damaged. Frustrated, he leaves a note on the car parked next to his. Afterward, Joel calls in sick to work but doesn't go home. Instead, he heads to the beach and starts writing in his journal, only to notice several pages have been torn out. While there, he spots a woman who seems to be following him. Trying to avoid her, he's startled to find her sitting across from him at a coffee shop. The woman pours something from a small bottle into her coffee and takes a sip, catching Joel's attention. Later, he sees her again at the train station. When she notices him staring, he quickly looks away, but she waves at him moments later. Nervously, he waves back. They board the same train, and she initiates a conversation. As they talk, they realize they are headed to the same destination. Clementine wonders if they've met before, mentioning her frequent hair color changes, which might explain why Joel didn't recognize her. Before the train ride ends, she introduces herself as Clementine. Clementine quickly grows comfortable with Joel, and her easy familiarity surprises him. Feeling uneasy with how fast things are moving, Joel gently shares his concerns. Later, he decides to spend some time alone, but fate steps in when he spots Clementine walking by herself. Joel pulls over and offers Clementine a ride, which she accepts. As he drives her home, she invites him inside for a drink. During their conversation, Clementine asks Joel about his life. While he insists it's nothing extraordinary, she surprises him with an unexpected bold gesture. Stunned, Joel decides to leave and heads home safely. Later, Joel calls Clementine and the two agree to meet again, and they end up at a frozen lake. Clementine convinces Joel to lie down beside her and wish. Then, Joel begins to open up to her in a way he rarely does with anyone. The next day, Joel drives Clementine to her house, but instead of saying goodbye, she asks to go to his place. She steps out to grab her belongings, leaving Joel in the car. While he waits, a stranger offers help at his window, but Joel declines, feeling uneasy as the man walks away. Later, Joel heads home and picks up his deliveries. While unloading, his neighbor Frank asks about his Valentine's Day plans with Clementine. Joel keeps it brief and goes inside. After taking a pill from one of the packages, he notices the van that had been following him parked outside. Nervously, he turns off the lights but collapses. Moments later, the men from the van grab their equipment and sneak into Joel's home. In a flashback, Joel vents to his friends, Rob and Carrie, about how he had prepared a special Valentine's Day gift for Clementine, only for her to act like she didn't know him and kiss another man. Carrie urges him to move on, but Rob grabs an envelope from a drawer despite her protests. After an argument, Carrie storms upstairs, leaving Rob and Joel alone. Ignoring her warning, Rob hands Joel the envelope. Reluctantly, Joel opens it and finds a card from Lacuna Inky. The card explains that Clementine has erased all memories of him and advises Joel not to mention their past relationship with her. Determined to find answers, Joel takes the card to Lacuna Inky. The receptionist, Mary, is busy on the phone while identical cards are printed in bulk. She gives Joel a form and leads him to Dr. Howard's office. Dr. Howard apologizes for how Joel discovered the procedure and explains that Clementine came to them willingly because she was unhappy and wanted to move on. Joel, doubtful, accuses him of running a scam. Later, Joel vents his frustration to Rob and Carrie, recounting Dr. Howard's explanation. Carrie suggests Clementine's decision was just another impulsive choice, typical of her. Feeling betrayed and overwhelmed, Joel storms back into Lacuna Inky. Mary tries to stop him, but Dr. Howard intervenes and manages to calm him down before bringing him inside. Howard explains the process of how to erase Clementine from his memory. Joel needs to remove everything associated with her from his home. The technicians will use these items to map his memories and perform the procedure overnight. The next morning, he will wake up without any recollection of Clementine. Reluctantly, Joel gathers all the items tied to his time with Clementine and delivers them to Lacuna Inky. Dr. Howard introduces him to Stan, their top technician, who will oversee the process. Howard records Joel's consent and begins guiding him through every detail of his relationship with Clementine, from their first meeting to their very last memory together. After his consultation, Dr. Howard completes a quick checkup on Joel and hands him over to Stan to begin the procedure. Stan maps Joel's memories by having him focus on items he brought, triggering associated memories to surface. At Joel's house, the men from the van are revealed to be Stan and his assistant, Patrick, who Joel recognizes as the man who approached his car earlier. Patrick fidgets nervously, and Stan reminds him to stay on task. When Stan notices an issue with the equipment, he instructs Patrick to check the connections before continuing. Meanwhile, Joel begins experiencing vivid, dreamlike visualizations tied to his memories of Clementine. These recollections blend with fragments of his earlier visit to Lacuna ENC. The first memory erased is from the night Clementine came home late, admitting she wrecked Joel's car. During the heated argument, Joel accused her of possibly sleeping with a stranger, calling it the kind of reckless thing she'd do to gain attention. Furious, Clementine stormed out. In the present, Patrick remains distracted, frustrating Stan as they prepare to dig deeper into Joel's memories. While tinkering with the equipment, Patrick casually mentions he now has a girlfriend, the same woman who had her memories erased days earlier. The revelation adds tension, but Stan stays focused. Inside Joel's mind, he follows Clementine, telling her it's over and he's erasing her from his life. However, fragments of Stan and Patrick's real-world conversation begin bleeding into Joel's memories, disrupting the process. In the next memory, Joel and Clementine argue about having a baby. Clementine expresses her desire to become a mother, but Joel hesitates, saying she's not ready for the responsibility. The fight intensifies, their voices blending with the faint chatter of Stan and Patrick in the background. Back in the house, Mary arrives with drinks for Stan and Patrick. She raises a toast to poor Joel, sympathizing with him as he loses his memories. Meanwhile, Joel's mind shifts to another memory, a dinner date with Clementine. As they sit together, Joel suddenly hears Patrick's voice calling Clementine on the phone. The sound disrupts the memory, pulling Joel out of the scene. Joel finds himself standing in another recollection, the moment he discovers Clementine with another man. Desperate to see the man's face, Joel leans closer, but the image remains indistinct. Back in reality, Patrick requests Stan's permission to leave, explaining he wants to visit Clementine. Mary seems unbothered by this, and even supportive of Patrick's plan. Trapped in the memory, Joel hears Patrick using a nickname he once called Clementine. This clue helps Joel piece together what's happening outside. Stan casually explains to Mary that Patrick accessed Joel's journal during the procedure, learning personal details about Clementine, including the nickname. Meanwhile, Patrick arrives at Clementine's house, where she's visibly upset and in tears. Seeking comfort, she asks him to join her on a trip to the frozen lake, a place tied to her past with Joel. Before leaving, Patrick looks through Joel's journal to learn more about the frozen lake memory and gives Clementine the gift Joel had left for her. Unaware of the truth, Clementine thanks Patrick, believing the gift was his idea. Patrick calls Stan, saying he won't return for the night, and Stan, distracted by his work, agrees. Inside Joel's mind, he relives a memory of Clementine opening up to him. As the memory fades, Joel desperately tries to hold onto it, but can't stop the process. He's then pulled into their time at the frozen lake. As it begins to disappear, Joel begs for the procedure to stop, not wanting to forget Clementine entirely. Determined to save her, Joel takes Clementine through different parts of his past, trying to hide her from being erased. He eventually confronts Dr. Howard, who tells him it's too late to stop the procedure. During this encounter, Joel recognizes Patrick and accuses him of stealing his belongings to manipulate Clementine. Dr. Howard is shocked but powerless as the memory shifts again. Back at the frozen lake, Patrick uses lines from Joel's journal to win over Clementine, but she becomes uneasy, sensing something isn't right, and tells Patrick she wants to go home. In his memories, Joel apologizes to Clementine for erasing her. She tells him to wake himself up. Unsure if it's possible, Joel lies down, closes his eyes, and tries, and to his surprise, it works. When they reunite in his mind, Clementine asks Joel to take her somewhere they can't be found and stay there until morning. Joel remembers a childhood moment when it rained inside his house. Clementine steps into that memory, comforting him as he cries under a table, calling for his mom. Stan wakes up to the machine beeping and finds the procedure has stopped on its own. While he checks the equipment, Mary panics, but Stan insists on fixing it himself. When she pushes him to call Dr. Howard, he reluctantly does and provides Joel's address. Inside Joel's mind, Joel tells Clementine that Patrick is trying to take his place. Meanwhile, in the real world, Clementine is driving Patrick back to her house. Dr. Howard arrives at Joel's home, questions why Mary is there, and dismisses her excuse as he begins diagnosing the issue with the procedure. In Joel's memory, he and Clementine are playfully bathing in the sink. As Howard pinpoints the memory's location, Clementine suddenly disappears, and Joel begins to drown in the sink, briefly waking him in the real world. Surprised, Howard gives Joel a sedative to pull him back into the memory timeline. Stan regains control of the process, and Howard prepares to leave, but Joel's resistance makes it harder to track him on the memory map. Despite Joel's efforts to hold on to Clementine, Howard stabilizes the procedure, and the memories continue to be erased, dragging Joel through one after another as he struggles to keep her. With the process back on track, Stan steps outside for fresh air. Inside, Mary tries to have a conversation with Howard, but impulsively kisses him. She quickly apologizes, but Howard firmly tells her it can't happen again. Outside, Stan notices their closeness through the window. At that moment, a car pulls into the driveway, and Howard's wife steps out. Realizing what's about to happen, Stan honks the car horn to alert Howard, hoping to prevent a confrontation. Howard's wife storms in furious and lashes out at Stan when he intervenes. Mary tries to take the blame, but Howard's wife reveals this isn't the first time. Shocked, Mary confronts Howard, who admits to their affair and that she erased her memories to forget it. Disturbed, Mary finds her file at the office and hears a recording of Howard persuading her to erase their past. Heartbroken, she packs her things and leaves. In Joel's mind, he relives meeting Clementine for the first time and how she led him to a beach house. Though he initially left, scared, this time he stayed. As the memory fades, Clementine asks him to spend their final moments together, and Joel confesses his love. Howard declares the procedure complete. Joel wakes up, unaware of what's been erased, returning to where the story began. Later, Mary quits Lacuna Inc., loads her car with case files and drives off, determined to expose the truth. In the present, Clementine returns to Joel's car with her belongings and a mysterious letter. She opens it to find a message from Mary, addressed to all former Lacuna Inc. patients, revealing the details of their erased memories. Inside is a cassette. She plays it, and both are shocked to hear Joel's name mentioned. Stunned, Joel stops the car and asks Clementine to leave. Clementine returns home to find Patrick waiting, but she tells him to leave. Later, she decides to visit Joel. She meets their neighbor Frank before finding Joel listening to his cassette. As they talk, the reality of their erased memories sets in. Joel apologizes, but the tape reveals moments where he ranted about Clementine, leaving her hurt. Unable to hear more, she starts to leave. Joel follows, pleading for another chance. Acknowledging they're practically strangers, he suggests starting over. Though the idea seems absurd, they share a laugh, lightening the moment. In the end, they are seen together on the same beach where they first met, having reached a mutual understanding and perhaps a fresh beginning. And with that, the movie ends. We hope you enjoyed our recap. Like the video and subscribe to our channel for more amazing recaps. See you in the next one.